It wasn't my decision. Daniel Levy breaks his silence on on Ange Postecoglou being sacked. And also Daniel Levy says more. He says more like the fact that he wants to win the Premier League. Also in news today, Matthis Tell has signed for Tottenham Hotspur. And that has just put a divide straight away on the fan base of Tottenham Hotspur. And also Tottenham Hotspur looking to maybe move on a few players. One of the players are Captain Heung-min Son. So let's get straight into it on Mr. Box Office TV. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Mr. Box Office on Mr. Box Office TV, back with another video for you today, or showed for you today. And in this show today, we're going to speak about Daniel Levy breaking his silence on Ange Postecoglou, on his sacking from Tottenham Hotspur. We also will speak about Vini speaking for the first time as CEO of Tottenham Hotspur. And also we will talk about Daniel Levy claiming that he wants to win the Premier League. Now, first off, big to everyone in the chat. And yes, it's been a long time, but your main event's back. He's back. And he's got a lot of things that needs to be getting off his chest with a very hot day, a lot of hot days ahead of us and previously as well. So people are enjoying the sunshine. A lot of people claiming that people settle down on the happenings at Tottenham Hotspur. Funny that, because I think people are just relaxing because they know that the storm is coming still at Tottenham Hotspur. I think that's something that people completely forget, that there's never a dull day being a Tottenham Hotspur supporter. But we'll get straight into it because we've not just got that to speak about. Tottenham Hotspur made a new signing. The new signing that has divided the fan base completely. Not that it doesn't take a lot to divide the fan base. Matthis Tell. The Matthis Tell that had his audition for the first 6 months. Not really done too much, really, let's be honest here. Like an audition for a singing contest, but really you have the old judge that actually feels sorry for you. That's a Tottenham Hotspur fan. And you might have somebody else that's much more harsher, like a Simon Cowell, but that might be a Man United who didn't take him on. But Tottenham Hotspur, well, we feel sorry for you, we'll take him on. But we'll talk about that in next stuff as well. Another thing as well that we need to speak about, Tottenham Hotspur linked with a few players. Tottenham Hotspur have been rejected by a few players as well. We'll speak about that as well. And Tottenham Hotspur linked with another striker, because it's not that we haven't been linked with loads of strikers before. So we'll get straight into it. But first off, we'll say hello to some people in the chat. Big up to Glenn Hoddle. Big up to Glenn Hoddle. He says, how are you, Mr. Box Office? Looks like Lange is staying. Well, yeah, he is staying. Having a good relationship with our new manager, Thomas Frank. Yes, he is. Sue Smith, big up to you. Every single time supporting your main event. Big up to Alex. Long time no speak. Words are cheap. Let's see some action. And I absolutely agree with that comment there. Absolutely agree with you. Big up to you. Big up to Mr. Moon. See if I've butchered your name. I do apologize. Mr. Box is finally doing the stream again. Yeah. Things I love to see. Big up. Yep. Big up, everybody. Big up, Lisa. Big up, Lisa. You be Brian Levy, anything that Levy says. One thing I will say, Lisa, he gets credit for that Europa League that we won. It's not just Ange, right? And I'm trying not to speak about him. He has gone. But I will speak about him a little bit because I don't think I've really done a live since then anyway. Let's be honest here. But let's be honest here. Levy has stepped by his word. He kept Ange Postecoglou and stuck with him when Daniel Levy, he would have sacked him, and way before he had the chance to get to that final. Because let's be honest here, 17th, and I've heard all the excuses saying, "Oh well, at least we won a trophy." Well, sorry, 17th with 38 points, saying that he dismissed the league in January is absolutely disgusting. And that's why he got sacked. And Daniel Levy was thinking, taking the emotion out of the decision. And yeah, he has claims. It wasn't my decision. It was a collective decision, which I'm guessing would be the board. But they stick with the right decision. They want to compete on multiple fronts. And that's why he ended up sacking the manager. And let's be honest here, I can't disagree with him. He's done what I want. He stuck with the manager like I wanted. So I can't have a go at him. And some of this fan base can't have a go at him. Let's be honest here. And he got us to Europe. He helped, stuck with the manager that got you the Europa League. So we have to be honest. That's it. But on this whole thing about him saying he wants to win the Premier League, I do agree. We have to see to believe. And that's really what we have to see. Us competing for the Premier League, we'll have to get better players. But that was something that we'll talk later on in the show. But big up to you, Lisa. And big up to Karim's. Sorry if I got that wrong. Sorry about that. And yeah. And then Lisa comes back and says, credits where credit's due. Let's see what he does next. If it really means what he says about winning, absolutely. But first, speaking on our wonderful chairman, Daniel Levy, we want to speak about his quotes with Vinay Vitesham. There was a video that was released today with Vinay Vitesham and Daniel Levy. And I've got to be honest here, when I watched the video, I have to be honest, I was very, very much, it was a very weird sort of video. It's kind of like, you know that film, The Hangover? It just felt like that. Two best buddies that were just reminiscing about the old times, and that was it. And it was kind of a weird sort of video where Vinay Vitesham was saying, we know how we work, and we've been long-term friends, and work colleagues, and known each other for a very, very long time, and we're very honest with each other. It was a very honest but frank video for me, with some very weird spots where I couldn't really make out what it was all about, but it was just like, it was a weird sort of, just weird for me. It was something I've not really seen from some of these Daniel Levy sort of video. Very, very weird. But one thing we just have to talk about, rather than me waffling on, not that I waffle a lot anyway, he speaks about Ange Postecoglou. And his quotes are saying this: I'm very grateful to Ange. I don't regret appointing Ange. In the first season, we finished 5th. And in our second season, we were over moon to win Europa League trophy. But we need to compete in all competitions. And we felt that we needed a change. Now, I've got an excellent relationship with him. Now, when he says this, did you sense there was an excellent relationship with Ange Postecoglou and Daniel Levy? I don't think there was really that much of a best buddies sort of relationship. I mean, you can have a good working relationship, which everybody, if you work in your offices or work in a shop, work with other colleagues, you've got to have a good relationship. You know, businessmen don't have to have a great relationship. It just has to be cordial and just working with each other. But I don't know whether that was something that he's just saying just for the cameras. I don't know, but I wouldn't say he had a fantastic relationship. I don't think you can see. I think you can see it towards that parade. Other times, the comments before the parade wasn't really any mention of Ange Postecoglou at all. I don't know whether that was just a funny thing anyway. But moving on to what he said, I've got an excellent relationship with him. I told him you always will be part of our history, which is true. He will be always part of our history. Ange Postecoglou, he'll be the most successful manager in the last 2 decades, winning Europa League, 100%. He is, and his family is always welcome back. It was a collective decision. It wasn't my decision. We do everything together. Emotionally, it was difficult, but believe we made the right decision for the club. So that's his comments on the sacking on Ange Postecoglou. Now, I made comments on this before on Ange Postecoglou. It was the right decision. He's taken the emotion out of the decision. And the fact that we need to compete on multiple fronts is absolutely spot on. We need to compete on multiple fronts. The people that are dismissing the fact that we just won the trophy, we won the trophy, so we should be satisfied with that, are just completely forgetting that the season was falling off a cliff because, and the only reason why we weren't in relegation trouble is because the sides in the bottom 3 were absolutely terrible. Even Leicester City, who beat us, got a draw out of us at home and beat us beat us away when they came to our ground. They were terrible as well, and that was, I think, that was their first win or second win. I can't remember. Ipswich, who fell off a cliff, they beat us at home, and then Southampton, we completely thrashed a couple of times. But then, let's be honest here, we made it very difficult in the first at home. So he only had the opportunity because the league we weren't at any threat of relegation. But even if we had no threat of relegation, there was no excuses that we didn't get over 40 points. And that's the embarrassment. 17th for a team like Tottenham Hotspur with their history. And I've heard the excuses about when we've won trophies before, saying, oh, we've been mid-table, we've been 13th. Or when we were in the FA Cup, we weren't anywhere near the top half. But what are you talking about? We weren't 17th. We weren't 17th in the league. And that's where you can't dismiss that. You can't make excuses for that. The team had Van der Ven, Romero, Udogie, Porro, Bentancur, Bissouma, Maddison, Kulusevski. These are good players. Whether we are dismissive of them and saying, well, we could get better. Yeah, we could get better, yes. But in previous teams, like with Mourinho, like with Conte and Mourinho didn't have better players. They only had Harry Kane and Son, and they got the best out of those players. So, and with players not improving, which I do apologise to everyone if they've heard me say this before, and I've tried to not say it a lot of times. I know some people can say it a lot of times and repeat themselves. I don't enjoy repeating myself, so that's why I apologise. he never improved anybody. And this is why the decision to bring in Thomas Frank, bringing on to the new era at Tottenham Hotspur, bringing on to Thomas Frank, who is a coach, is so important. Now, people can lead up to saying about the development of Archie Gray and Burval and bringing on Jed Spence, but really they haven't. You can see that there's not that much influence on them, especially with Burval, who was more. Let's be honest here. It was more on him with his energy, his enthusiasm, and that's what really got him into the team. And luck that the fact that we had injuries as well. So I can't really start looking at it and saying, I don't think really we can really say anything really on Ange Postecoglou having any influence on this team yet. He gave them belief, and the players got through it. But the excuses I've heard, and this is why I'm saying I can't do excuses anymore. I can't do excuses anymore for the team, because it seems that Tottenham Hotspur are the only ones that have injury problems, when other teams in the Premier League have injury problems as well. So there's no excuses. Now, me saying this, because I heard somebody today, George, big up to him. Please subscribe to his channel, George Diaries. For me, like, I don't want to hear this thing about, Burval's a game changer, whatever. Yeah, he's a good player. He's got prospects. But there's no way he is what people are predicting at the moment. I need to see it. Like last season, he was, good, but because everyone was crap in midfield. So we need to improve on players. We need to upskill them. And that's where you bring in a Thomas Frank. Now, me saying this, I'm still not there for Thomas Frank. I'm not here jumping on the board of Thomas Frank because everyone's jumping on board. And I don't think I should say that to people that liked Ange or are not on board with Thomas Frank. I don't think I can say anything. I don't think anybody can say anything. I saw people saying, and big up to Sava and Ian, but Ian and Sava saying, well, everyone needs to get on board with him. Nah, not everybody's going to get on board. It's social media. Tottenham Hotspur social media will never get on board with anything. They need to see it. It's now time for Frank to prove his worth. It will always be like that. And if he has a bad start, which we'll find out what sort of start he will get tomorrow, with the fixtures coming out tomorrow, released tomorrow for the Premier League and all leagues as well, the fan base will go mad. And just brace yourself. The only reason why it's quiet at the moment is because there's no football. There's nothing to really talk about. Everyone's on holiday. You've only just got a little bit of a sneak peek of what Tottenham Hotspur are planning in the future, because there's not really that much to speak about. But when it starts the season, when we get the signings in and the season starts, that's when we'll start to see what really people think about Thomas Frank. Because it's easy to get on board when it's early, but you need to see what happens when it comes on board. Now, this quote's on Daniel Levy's quotes on, which was, again, a weird video. I've got to be honest, very weird video. He says this, Daniel Levy: whenever you have a new coach, it's always a fresh start. They always have different ideas, but we want to build on the success of winning a trophy last season. The things that stood out to me with Thomas Frank, or Thomas, clearly highly intelligent, a good communicator, superhuman being, plus all the other technical aspects, and that are obviously important. But they really stood out to me as those three parts. Now, that's one of the things that he does. When I look at the videos of Thomas Frank, now I've just when I do see these videos of Thomas Frank, now it's one of those things. I have to say, you know, he's definitely got the aspects of a good coach, a very good coach. Justin Cochrane as well, coming in as well as assistant, who is very highly rated. Used to play at Tottenham, used to be at Tottenham before as well. Bringing all his coaching staff, that is a very good start for me. Very good start. I think it's the right decision to bring all this coaching staff. Yep, we've only got a few there now from the last management that were here, but it's just very good that we brought in him as a coach and brought his own coaching staff, so we can work with all, and they can all work in tandem as one. And for me, they're used to each other. They know what they want. They're, you know, as a coaching team, and that it only can be very, very helpful. Only can be very, very helpful to Tottenham and the players, to help them develop. It's very much helpful as well. So it's a very good prospect. It's very optimistic, that part of it for me. So I can't be disappointed in that. It is, I wouldn't say exciting. I don't like the word being excited when I don't know really what to expect. I'm calm. This is the first time for a long time I've been calm. I think since Harry Redknapp, because like I said, if you watched my video before on Pochettino and why I didn't like Ange, I didn't like Pochettino before. He proved his worth to me. Probably maybe have to be the same with Thomas Frank. But one thing I can definitely say at the moment, we've got a coach. We've got a coach that looks like he wants to improve players. And with the record of what he's done before, improving certain players like Ivan Toney, Mbeumo, Whistler, there's loads of players at Brentford that have been upskilled. It's very good. It's very good, optimistically, that this guy will do well with players next season. That's something that will stand out for me, 110%. But big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to everybody. I think some people have just come in to the show. Big up to the Jack Levy, the game changer quote. I still remember when the stadium was built. Didn't Levy have an excellent relationship with the other 17 managers? Yep, absolutely. But I don't think he had a good relationship really with... that's a good question, actually. I have to look into that. Good question, Jack. Good question, Jack. Philly, big up to you, Philly. Ange should be used to lessons for being... No, Ange should be used a lesson for all to be careful what you say. Levy today said he wanted to compete on all fronts. The fact Ange said he threw the league to win meant he wasn't competing on all fronts. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I don't think it really helped that he was 17th. That's the thing, Phil. I don't think he helped that he was 17th in the league. It wasn't, you know, the fact that we're just outside the relegation zone, and he says that he dismissed the league. He was playing most of the team, the first teamers, so he didn't dismiss the league. I think he was just waffling. I think he was just blagging, to be honest with you, because he won Europa League. I don't think you could say that if you didn't win the Europa League. I mean, people call me Mr. Hindsight. That's what you can call Ange Postecoglou, Mr. Hindsight, because he's saying that because it worked out for him. That's the problem. That's the thing. So he could be a bit flippant about it. I mean, what happened to mentality? First season, end of the season, when we didn't want to. Well, some of the fan base weren't keen on beating Man City because they didn't want Arsenal to win the league, and he started having a go at the fans, saying about their mentality. But then he completely dismissed the league. What is his mentality? He was just contradicting himself all the time, and that's the problem. And that's what he lacked belief for me. And I enjoyed the win of the Europa League, and it's something that you're always going to cherish. That parade was brilliant, absolutely fantastic to see all Spurs fans coming together. But when he said what he said about, and I knew he was waffling anyway, because obviously they already made the decision to sack Ange, just couldn't make that. They couldn't announce it on the day of the parade. It just didn't look good at all, because everybody was celebrating the victory in the Europa League. But I mean, he was just absolutely waffling, and I think he just tried to get just to test the waters, I thought, and really, obviously, he's not going to be here for his third season. So, yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. I'll have to be honest. Really, one of those things. Big up to we are Top Spurs TV. Big up to Smithy. Big up to Smithy. Big up to you, and big up to Levy. Is such a BS. He says he wants to compete on all fronts and is looking to buy a 17-year-old MLS player. Those two things don't correlate. If he's truly wanted to win, he pay Eze's release. Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying they want him to sign Eze. Now, I think Eze is a difficult one, because he's won UEFA Cup. Glaston's probably staying at Crystal Palace now. So we've got to, if you want the player, you've got to pay the release clause, and you've got to negotiate with Crystal Palace to get the player out. Now, it leads me to saying this. I don't think we're going to get him, because we've signed Matthis Tell, and the only way we're going to get him out, and I think it looks clear now that it probably will be Son's last season with us. Son leaves, and we get somebody else in. Now, how will that work? I don't know, because you've got Alderbear, you've got Mikey Moore, who I think probably will need a loan. You've got Kulusevski, who possibly we can't really think about because he's injured. Johnson. Who else is there? So you've got Matthis Tell now that you've got to say as well. So, and then you've got Human Hook as well. Solomon that he wants to keep as well, which I don't know whether Frank is trying to please everybody, because they're so disheartened, but they've lost their saviour, Ange Postecoglou, their best friend. Some of the players, because obviously you saw some of the pathetic statement from Romero, which is another player that I need to speak about as well. Pathetic, I've got to be honest. Absolutely pathetic, I'll have to be honest. But, we're getting used to it now. We're getting used to it, aren't we, with Romero, isn't he? He has to put himself out there, doesn't he? I mean, I think that is something that I can see him doing, leaving, but no one's putting up the money. No one's putting up the money for him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we do need to get better players. Yes, I mean, I definitely want better midfielders, that can compete with our midfielders that we've got at the moment. And especially with the fact that Basuma might be leaving this summer, we definitely need somebody that is very much stronger midfielder, that defensive midfielder, maybe that who can hold the ball, who can start plays off, defensively sound. We definitely need that sort of defensive midfielder. And we have been linked with a few players in recent times that Tottenham Hotspur need to get going with. But I think that will be starting to talk about. We'll start talking about that when a certain guy, our previous director of football, Prodigy, comes back, returns, which is looking like he will be returning in July. So, yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. And he comes back with this. I'm pretty sure Matoma wants more playing time, and we can entice him with more money. And play time is if we really wanted to compete on all fronts. But now we go out and buy teenagers punts. Yeah, no, I think we've got too many teenagers. We've got Belval, we've got Archie Gray, we've got Alderbear, we've got Mikey Moore. And, and this is where the pathetic thing I hear from people saying, he had to throw the league last season, Ange. He didn't play in the youngsters. So he obviously wasn't throwing the league. So I don't know what he was talking about, to be honest with you. I've heard a lot about Simmons. He's a good shout as well. Edison, I don't think he's coming. Definitely don't think he's coming at all, to be honest with you. Big up Jeff as well in the chat. Big up to you. But yeah, it's not, for me, it's not, I'm not expecting a lot this summer, to be honest with you. And why should I expect a lot this summer? I think there's going to be a lot of players that will need, who will stay, maybe because they want to save money, maybe. I don't know. I do think they will have to make a big signing because we are in the Champions League. We need a few experienced players. But, big players. And the reason why I say this, Mathys, so this is the why I say this. Just because we got Champions League, we're 17th. And we've already got rejected by Chiriches, Leo Sani, who was on a free. We've already got rejected by Matheus Cunha, who went to Man United. And he was really keen to go to Man United. His focus was on Manchester United. And Angel Gomez, who we've been quoting for quite a while now. He saw all the articles about him being on the free. And you can see exactly that. You can see it's not going to be as straightforward. Now, I can say this. Prodigy coming back, hopefully. Now, I'm not a big fan of his, but I'll take him right now rather than Johan Lang, who has a good relationship with Thomas Frank. Now, I wouldn't, I don't know. I really don't know. But Prodigy has got a reputation of finding players, going for multiple players, and then making a decision on them. So I can see him I can see him bringing in players, possibly, especially more experienced players, possibly. Maybe, who are. I mean, I love a Grealish. I love a Grealish. I think there's something to tap in with Grealish. He's going to be frustrated. There's a World Cup year next year. I think I definitely would love a Grealish. A Sancho. I think, we were linked with, and we can go into that a little bit more later on, but we were linked with Rashford as well as one of the players. Now, people will dismiss it and say, well, he's not in good form and that's it. But I particularly will say that some of these players, if you put them in a new environment, you saw him at Aston Villa with the new environment, new surroundings, he was able to do what he was doing. Now, obviously, it didn't really work out for Aston Villa because they didn't get Champions League, which were very, very unlucky. You have to be honest, it was very, very tight battle for the top 5 to get into the Champions League. But, however, with us in Champions League, he would be someone that you could put in and he would compete with the likes of Solanke and could play all through the front line. Now, that would be interesting. That would be a very interesting thing. Definitely very interesting thing to do. Now, this is where what influence Thomas Frank and the coaching staff could have on a Rashford to try and like what Martin and O'Neill did with some of the players that he brought in at Leicester City back in the day. Sam Allardyce, Harry Redknapp at West Ham. Cast-offs that were looked at as, oh, no, you can't do anything with them. They've got a bad attitude. And they seem to always get the best out of those players and inspire the team. And, I mean, if Thomas Frank can do that, that could be very, very helpful. Now, I know he's been linked to, I know Kudus is a hot topic right now because West Ham are reportedly looking to sell Mohamed Kudus, who I wouldn't mind having. Wouldn't mind having at all. So, but it's either going to be one or the other because obviously we've got Maddison still, who is coming back from injury. So, to talk about something else, just to move it on, because the other things that we need to speak about, big up to Lily White Lane, big up to you. Problem with Rashford is his wages. We're not going to pay the wages to get him. I'd rather Grealish because he'll be more cheaper and I think he's better player in terms of ability. Yeah, and I can't disagree with you. Can't disagree with you at all there because I would prefer a Grealish as well. But it's going to be either or, to be honest with you. It's either going to be a Eze who is on the up and up or a Grealish who you need to really inspire to try and get his form back in his groove again and work on him to get his back in his groove again. Now, it could end up being like a Raheem Sterling. But we don't want that situation. But with Arsenal, they did a loan with him, so maybe it'd be a sensible decision if you did go for a Grealish to do a loan, and then it's good for both parties, and maybe put a option or to buy, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. That probably would be something I would say anyway. But yeah, that's what I would say. But one other thing that I need to speak about, because Daniel Levy didn't stop there. He did not stop there because he wanted to make a statement to that. He wanted to make a statement. And that statement was when, with Vini there looking up, looking down at his future at Tottenham Hotspur, looking down at his future and saying, "Oh, Daniel Levy, I don't know how you've done it for 20 years. I can't believe it. I don't know how you've done it for 20 years. Bloody hell." I was just like sitting there thinking, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Really? Honestly, it's like you know, I can't think of the film, but it's just like, you know, you mirror someone, a mirror of yourself, and it's like you're talking in tandem. It's like, oh, I really don't think I really don't know how you dealt with this for 20 years. And it's like, yeah, 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 you got to give me some flowers for that one, don't you? I mean, being Tottenham Hotspur chairman and spent, you know, getting all this money, get a big salary as well. You know what I mean? Not winning anything as well. But yeah, going on to Tottenham Hotspur, sorry, just going into a little bit of a role play there, just talking about how it was just a weird video. I've got to be honest, it's just a weird video with Daniel Levy. I've got to be honest, a very weird video with Matthis and Daniel Levy. You think it's a show the way it was as well. But to go back onto what Daniel Levy said, he says this is one thing I thought was very interesting. Very, very interesting. And some of the quotes he mentioned was, and I'm trying to find it right now. You know, it's just incredible. We have won the European trophy, but it's not enough. What we have not done is more important, and we need to win the league. We want to win the Premier League. We want to win the Champions League. You know, we want to win. So either he's had a complete character change, Daniel Levy, or that Europa League has really made him hungry. I don't know what to believe. I really don't know what to believe. You know, I mean, I think I can't remember his name now. I do apologise to you, mate. Mathys, I think he's absolutely spot on when he says, when he asks that question. I think he's absolutely. I can't remember what the question he asked me, but I mean about the Daniel Levy thing. I mean, I don't know what else to say on that. But just, and then I mean, most of the stuff he says this. There is no point of having a wonderful stadium if you have not got a wonderful team and winning. I mean, the reason we do all these other events is to provide additional financial resources to the club. Okay. Which in turn goes back into the team. Okay. I think we've heard this before. Everything is about the team. Everything. And I mean, this is where I was reading into what Vinay says. He says, "I do not know how you do it. I remember, I think when you got to 20 years, you might have not remembered this. I remember I sent you a nice bottle of wine with a letter saying, I do not know how you've done it for such a long time, because it's just everything's from you. It's just, you know, the energy you need to put into it. So you've stammered, it's quite something." And I was like, what are you saying, mate? Honestly, what are you trying to do? Trying to get him an ego? I mean, he's only had 2 trophies in how many years? And he's like giving him a pat on the back. I mean, it's like me giving myself a pat on the back for bantering people that talk waffle to me, honestly. But I'm honestly, I don't know where he's going with this. Honestly, it was just weird. Like I said, it was a weird video. I've got to be honest, weird. And this is what Daniel Levy puts bonds with. Failure is not an option. The desire to succeed And because it is so difficult, I want to see even more. Right, okay. So what was that desire when you could have helped Pochettino, you could have helped Mourinho, you could have helped Conte if you had the desire. You had two winners there in Conte and Mourinho. So where was your desire then to help those managers that you wanted? I mean, it's a bit confusing that quote. I mean, honestly, but then I mean, Vinay was funny in this video because it says they've been in business relationship for quite a while now. They've known each other for quite a while as business friends, and they're very honest with each other. And that was the moment in the video where I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." It's not like backwards and coming forward. They were saying straight away, saying, "Well, we're not too bothered about disagreeing with each other. When these things need to be said, they need to be said." And kind of really leads to certain things that I've heard that there has been a few things that have not been great behind the scenes, especially after the whole decision with Ange whether he was going to stay or go. And obviously that decision is already done now. We've got in Thomas Frank, but I think that is something that you want to watch, that relationship, and obviously you add in Paraty into that as well. It's a very interesting dynamic there. You have to say that, definitely. So, yeah, definitely a very interesting dynamic there. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to that soldier. Big up to you. And please like and subscribe to the show. Yeah, we'll see more. We're going to do more shows. And I also will try and promise this as well. I'm going to go less on other people's shows as well. It's time to be a little bit more selfish and do more, chat to you guys, do more on the show. Now, I admit right now, I've not done enough. I admit life's got in the way. Alex's life got in the way. But guys, I am going to do what I need to do. I need to enjoy the sunshine. When it's sunny outside, I'm going to enjoy the sunshine. I can't talk about Spurs. If I need to go and to do some benching, I've got a bench. If I've got to go and do some soccer events, I've got to do some soccer events. I love the fact that people think I've got woman troubles. Have you heard about kayfabe? Have you heard about kayfabe? If you watch wrestling, you think I've got woman problems? Sometimes you have to have a bit of a laugh. Sometimes it hasn't been great last season. Yeah, we had the Europa League, but sometimes you have to have a laugh about certain things. It is what it is. I'm not that useless. Like someone said after I was interviewed on Chris Cannon, someone came on because they wanted to make themselves known or make themselves famous. They said, "Oh, that's why you've not got women problems. That's why you've got women problems." Like, I'm only having a laugh about it, mate. It's not that serious, mate. Honestly, I can trigger people, don't I? You know what I mean? It's really funny, really, really funny. But big up to everybody. Big up to everybody in the chat. Daniel Levy predicting, saying that he wants to win the Premier League and Champions League. Do you in the chat believe in everything that Daniel Levy has said in the video? And what was your feelings on Vinay Titesham in the video as well? What was your feelings on the dynamic on Vinay Titesham and Daniel Levy? Were you do you think it was a weird sort of combination? Do you think it was legit, or did you think it was real, the relationship? Do you think they'll fall out? during their time together. Daniel Levy as chairman and Vini as CEO. And what do you feel on how the dynamic would be when Fabio Paratici hopefully when he returns, rumored to return in July? Please leave it in the comments. What's your thoughts on that? And next up, we are going to speak about. So if you have any more on the thoughts on that, just let us know. We're going to speak about this man, Matthis Tell. And Matthis Tell, the recent signing at Tottenham Hotspur that has divided the fan base, has divided everybody in the fan base, and divided the fan base because he had a loan from Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich gave us an option on making the transfer permanent. And during his short spell at Tottenham Hotspur, then Matthis Tell hasn't impressed everybody with the Tottenham fan base. Tottenham fans have not been. Some people have defended him. Some people say he works very, very hard and he's got a very good prospect. Now, let me just get some things up here because I would like to just speak about him. Let me just get this up. Matthis Tell. Let me get that up now. Now, I do not do stats. I can't do stats. I'm not that guy. I'm really not that guy. Because I'm a guy that's an eye test guy, and I don't care what people say to me. And because, like I said, I come to watch football, not watch stats. If I want to go and play FIFA, I'll go and play FIFA. I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood for that. I'm sorry, it just isn't me whatsoever. So if you want to waste my time with that, I'm not in the mood for it. To be honest with you, I'm a guy that loves stats. Now, don't like stats. I mean, but. All right, let me just do that here. So, Matthis Tell, let me see now. So, last season, at Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League, he made 13 appearances. 13 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists, and so 2 goals, 2 assists. So it's not perfect. It's not perfect at all. It's not great. And for someone that needed to give an impact, let's be honest here, it wasn't great at all. Let's be honest here. So I can understand why people are totally against. I'm not there with him at all, to be honest with you. And to be fair to people as well, when I say this as well, I'll go on to him as well. I just think I'm a bit confused what we're doing here, to be honest with you, bringing in Matthis Tell. He didn't make that much of an impact. He was a backup. And like I said, I don't do backups. If you're a backup, you might as well get back. Players like Mora, Ginson Fernandez, Bergwijn, who had more of an impact, to be honest with you. And then we ended up selling him. Lamela. So many other players that we've sold on because we didn't want, they didn't make that much of an impact. Timo Werner. But the excuse I get is because he's young. It's just ridiculous. And it's all, we know he's young. We've got to be nice and morals about it. I'm like, why? Morals don't get you trophies. Well, yeah, it's got us last season, yeah. But, it's a tough world out there. So I don't understand why we need to get a Matthis Tell. It makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense whatsoever. Matthis Tell, for me, hasn't impressed. He doesn't get in front of Son. The only reason why he got in front of Son, because Son was falling off a cliff. But Matthis Tell didn't stamp his authority. And this is where I don't understand the fact. I don't understand it. Now, yeah, this is the decision of Thomas Frank. Now, regardless whether Thomas Frank has made the full decision, if he had any authority, now he's not going to make the full decision because our high structure is mainly the head coach. Then you have a director of football, which would be either Johan Lang or mainly would be the returning Fabio Paratici. But I don't see what the benefit of keeping Matthis Tell. It shows to me that we're not going to get two quality wingers. Now, that's worrying for me. Because like I said, if you have a backup and the first team gets injured, that backup becomes the first team. So either now you've got Matthis Tell with Thomas Frank saying, I can coach him into being a better player. Or, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say, really, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just really ridiculous for me. I think this is where, I mean, yeah, I think we have to be ruthless. But again, I mean, I think it's just one of those things. It's like he didn't do enough for us to keep him and make him a permanent transfer. It made no sense. It's like Timo Werner didn't do enough. So he's going to have to improve massively. Because, he shouldn't just, he needs to compete. He needs to compete. So yeah, it's just one of those things for me. I don't think it really, it makes no sense for me. It makes no sense whatsoever, to be honest with you, that he's been signed by Tottenham Hotspur when he didn't really show anything in his cameo to show that we should be signing him anyway. Maybe because we've got a coach in like Thomas Frank, and we're thinking that there's something we can get more out of him. He's got a good output that he could do in the future because he's young and he's got, there's still growth to be there, growth for him to grow and get better and better and better. And I don't see that as something that will happen with him. I just don't see it. I think there's too much of this. Oh well, he's got prospects, and yeah, because he's young, he can grow with time, and that's it. But when do you give? How much time do you give somebody until they can show what they really can do? And he was online. He didn't really do that much. I mean, Kulusevski and Bentancur when they were at Tottenham. Well, Kulusevski, when he was on loan, did more in his first 6 months than this guy did. And yeah, I did call Kulusevski a bit of a reject, yeah, but Kulusevski had an impact where he impacted the team and helped us to get Champions League that year with Antonio Conte. This is the thing. It's, I mean, if you compare it to the Kulusevski's cameo, that was a better cameo. So I don't know what the sense is of that happening. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. Is what it is at the moment. But big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to you. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're going to get that. Big up to Jimmy. Tell's bang average add another 20 million and get Eze instead. Should be no brainer. Well, I think a lot of people would agree with you, Jimmy Hotspur. And Harvey 22 says Thomas Frank a fraud. All right. Well, people will be underwhelmed. People will be underwhelmed by the appointment of Thomas Frank. And like I said, I've got not really that much to say on that because I can't tell people that they've got to get on board with him. No, I can't do that because I wasn't on board with last manager. But with time, hopefully he convinces you. And that's what managers are there to do. They're there to convince you. So I don't see anything that would. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I don't see, like I said, the fan base all coming together. I don't at the start, no, because as soon as this season starts and if we do badly, they will change their mind, and that's it really for me. So big up to you anyway. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you say that to other people, they will go mad, absolutely mad. But yeah, just wanted to say something I need to say. Because there is something else we need to speak about. And it was a little bit of news today about our captain, Heung-min Son. Now, he was linked to, and also Basuma was linked to leaving Tottenham Hotspur to go to Fenerbahce. Initial loan, I think it was. And it was one of those and now it's come out. Now it's come out because just to get back to what I was going to say. Now it's come out that Heung-min Son will stay for the pre-season tour. I think it's to South Korea, which makes sense. Then after that, because of lots of commercial things that are going on there as well, and obviously, Heung-min Son is the very popular figure there, obviously. So, with that, he will stay for that, and then they will hopefully look to sell him on or let him go. Now, I know people are getting them. Now, let me just say this because so people can make it clear, because I need to speak about him and also his best friend Davis, Ben Davis. Now, with Son, this season hasn't been. Last season wasn't great. Last season was not great whatsoever. So, for me, even though he gets all the credit, even though he didn't play half a game in the final because he was started on the sub bench. I would say, and well done. Thank you for the memories. He's been an immense player for us. Absolutely immense player for us. But Thank you for the memories, but it's time for him to go. We need to sell him, get money for him, and then bring in somebody to replace him. Now, anybody can make that decision what they want. We've already seen, we've seen some of the options that we could look at that we've mentioned just already. So, but it's time to let him go. It's time to let Son go. It's way time. He needs. And I think he's hinted in saying, "I'm staying to Tottenham Hotspur to win a trophy. Hopefully, win a trophy. He's won a trophy now. It's time to let him go." And we've got to forget the commercial stuff around this. We've got to think about the European squad because we've got too many foreign players to cope with in the foreign squad at the moment, and we need everybody on board that are available to play in that Champions League, as well as the Premier League as well, and Europe and Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So for me, we need to bring in reinforcements, and if we can get money for Son, it's time to let him go. That's just me. That's my call on it. I think that's what I feel. I know there's going to be people different. Now, again, people will say, well, we're keeping Davis. Now, I don't want to keep Davis. I stick by what I say. He had a good season last season. I think he was one of our best defenders last season because in our best wins, he was in the team. I'm not saying that I wanted him to be in the team, no, because he's the backup. Because he's been clearly a backup, and we don't need backups anymore. Now, when I say backups, I don't mean that we need to get everybody superstars. When people say, no, that's not realistic. No, it's not going to happen, never. Because no one's going to be happy with just all superstars, no. But we can't, superstars want to play. Everybody wants to play. So that's going to be an issue anyway. But what I don't want is someone happy to sit on the bench. If you're happy to sit on the bench for a top team, no. That's not good enough. And that's why I say don't keep Davis, but we kept Davis. Hopefully it's a reason to sell him on and get money for him, but I still think we should let him go on a free. I just don't see the point. Trying to cash him in, I don't see the point in it. And the same thing as well with Son. Like, if we got to stop this emotion, we've got to stop this emotion. Big up to Phil, by the way. Big up to Phil every single time. But yeah, I don't. We get too emotional with players. Now, I've had that problem before, but now I don't have that anymore. When I was on one other show and they said to me, "Oh, well, you rated Harry Winks and all that." What I'd said about when I said I was wrong about Harry Winks and Davis and I can't remember Sanchez. I admitted it. But that one person was saying that he can't let go of Harry Kane. Can't stop talking about Harry Kane. Oh, I knew Harry Kane. Harry Kane already left out the door. So this is the nonsense I get from Tottenham fans. Nonsense, absolute nonsense. But this is what we get, and you can't. There's no. I can't think of the word now. It's getting late anyway. Yeah, it's definitely getting late. But yeah, it's just I don't know what else to say really. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, for me, we need to let him go. We should let go of Davis as well, to be honest with you. And I think that just shows you where we're going in the Champions window for defenders. But yeah, we really do need to let him go. We need to get some reinforcements in terms of someone that is going to be able to refresh our attack, because that was awful towards the end of the season, our attack. Richarlison just needs to go. I would have gotten rid of him a long time ago. And if Thomas Frank wants to keep him, I don't know what we're doing. I really don't know what we're doing. He works hard. He's a nuisance, but he ain't that great. We can get better. There are strikers out there that got better prospects out there, and we can do better than Richarlison. I mean, other teams have got better strike force than us, and that's a shambles for Tottenham Hotspur. Absolute shambles. And we shouldn't be doing things like that. It's just not good at all. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. I think we should be getting rid of those players, and I think that it's just there's a few others as well that we should be getting rid of that should be on loan. We should be getting better out there. And there are players out there because Brighton are finding them, Bournemouth are finding them. They've been absolutely ransacked in this summer. They've already lost a few players already, so it just shows you how much of a good job Ariello's done and the hierarchy at Brighton and Bournemouth and Brentford, who, there's not really much I can say, really. To be honest with you, there's not really much I can say, really, on this. But unfortunately, like I said, I don't get emotionally attached. And like I said, again going back onto to Thomas Frank. I'm not really someone that really puts my hat on managers anymore. It's more about the club now for me. I never get attached to a manager anymore. I think I've just realised that now. I think it's at a stage where it's not all about the coach. It's all about the director of football. And I think it's going to be very interesting what Fabio Paratici does when he hopefully returns. It's going to be very, very interesting. But we were linked with a few players today. One player that I just want to get up right now, and let's see, get that player up right now. But big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody. Are you enjoying the sunshine? Enjoying that there's not that much football? Are you watching the World Club competition? It does look like some people, just to digress on Tottenham for a short while, it does look like some teams in that competition look very, 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 very tired. And it doesn't really give that much time for them to rest. It makes no sense. I mean, the Premier League fixtures are going to be named tomorrow. And with Chelsea and Man City playing in this competition, where are they going to have the time to rest? I do not know. It's just one of those things that you just think, what they're doing? I don't know, really. But hey, this is what they decided to do. I don't know what else to say on it, but it does give them very less time to actually, rest. That's the thing. So, yeah, it's a weird situation. But the one player I want to speak about, and it's a very interesting player. It just came out the blue. Clinimonde, Arnold Clinimonde plays at Rennes and has made 112 appearances, 40. I don't know. I think that's 40 goals. I think it is, and 14 assists. Let me just get back to this. I think I need to get that. Just make sure I've got that absolutely spot on. Let me just get that now. But big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody watching around. And like I said, I will be doing more of these. You just have to work with me on this one because it's just been so hot. So hot. Yeah, so he's had 112 appearances for Rennes, 40 goals and 14 assists in his time at Rennes. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody who's watching and who's just joined us. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to Gary Officer. Big up to you. Agree with Alex. The sentiment needs to go. If players don't want to produce or want to be here, get them out of a club. Yeah, Romero is one of them. I have to be honest. Romero is one of them. And then 50,000 empty seats. Not good look in the competition. Yeah, big up to you. And big up to Mari. Big up to We Are Tottenham TV. Yeah, big up to you. I'll be, and if that is Ben or Sim's deluded. I've got to be honest. I've heard some nonsense from him, honestly. And I mean, I love your committee meetings on your show, by the way. Love them, absolutely love them, because you're obviously afraid to invite the main event. You know what I mean? Like lots of other shows, anyway. But big up to you. It's assuming big up to us. Big up to you, Mari. Yeah, big up to you. And big up to Farhan. And big up to you. Big up to you. So yeah, so big up to everybody in the chat. But yeah, please like and subscribe to Tottenham Away and We Are Tottenham TV, but I think everybody would know about them anyway. You should know about them. Even though some of the stuff I hear is just honestly deluded. Honestly, I just don't even know what to say, really, to be honest with you. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need some help from your own main event. But anyway, moving on. They're good night, lovely lads, though. Lovely lads, but deluded. Honestly, and don't get me started on Daniel Kyriakou. Honestly, I've never heard such absolute deludedness in my whole life. I mean, then I was watching Irish Hotspur. Oh my gosh. Bloody hell. Oh my gosh. Anyway, moving on. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need some sense. Honestly, some sense. Honestly. Bloody hell. But you know, is what it is. Where were we? Yeah, I do think we do need I think that's a. We were talking about this guy, Clemondo. Big up to Grumpy Steve. Big up to you. PSG Youth Project. If he comes, Hughes Ceylon, big to PSG to comply with squad rules. Now, he looks a good prospect. I have to be honest. Thing is, though, and there's a player from Bournemouth, and I can't remember his name. We're linked with him as well, and I think he needs a little bit of help as well. And I'm just trying to think of it in you know, I think he definitely needs a little bit of help. But big up to everybody in the chat. Like I said, I'm going to do more of these now. I'm going to be on less shows now. I'm not going to be on the shows. I'm getting bored of being on lots of other shows now. Because one thing, I need to unleash a little bit more. I've been really wanting to get it. But unfortunately, time. And yeah, you're going to see more of me. Sean was right. I know exactly why he said it, and he's not the only one that said it to me. I need to do more shows. I haven't seen, you know, you have been missing Mr. Box Office, and I do apologize for that. It's not been great. It's not been great at all, but you know, it's been difficult to talk about Spurs recently. It's been very, very difficult to talk about Spurs. Now, it's been good to speak about, and we will talk about Clemondo. We will talk about him. But, you know, I haven't spoken for a while on this. And, you know, when you are who you are and you're very you unleash a lot of the time, and you need that time to say it. Now, I've been really keen to say more when I need to say, but I've just not had the chance to do it. And setting up things and trying to make sure I've got time and I've got the energy for it, that's been difficult. That has been difficult for the main event. It has been difficult to say what I really wanted to say on certain things. Yeah, Sim Minyo. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was talking about, Jimmy. Big up to you, by the way. Big up to Walls FI. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Big up to you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Big up to you. And if you do, just you didn't need to do that, but big up to you. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you for that. But yeah, so I found it very difficult to manage everything in terms of everything else and trying to do things live. Now I'm going to do more of that now, and I'm going to make it my effort to do it, even if it's just to get things off my chest. Less on other shows, be a little bit more selfish, a little bit, and give you a show. And yeah, it might not be perfect because I'm doing it on my own. And yeah, I might have your guests sometimes, but at the moment, I've got the energy. I've got the energy. Like, there was not that much I could say on Tottenham because it was just so boring saying the same things. But it is getting interesting now with a new manager. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm fully on board, like I said. But I have to say that it is a fresh new start, and like I said, I feel calm. I feel relaxed with this guy. I feel relaxed, not excited, just intrigued. And the energy of me going back to the games now is on. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be absolutely perfect, no, but I definitely will have more energy. And yeah, I'm not going to change. I had somebody on Irish Hotspur saying I need to change, I need to be a bit more happier. Well, maybe you need to sort out your own behaviour before you talk to me. And I'm going to listen to you anyway because you don't like me. So if you don't like me, why will I listen to you? Stick to your own behaviour and sort out your own behaviour out. Don't worry about my behaviour. It's just because you don't. I mean, when I don't mention people, they still get rattled. They still get rattled. You know what I mean? So I'm still going to be the same, whether you like it or not. Simple. I'm not going to change for anyone, for no one. You know what I mean? So if you've got a problem with me, sorry, I don't even pay attention to some people's show anyway because they don't invite me. So why would I care about what you think? People who have got their own opinion strong about who they are don't change. I've got standards. It's like the whole thing about, life. You got standards. People have got morals. Well, morals didn't really get us to win that Europa League, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Morally, we need to play good football. We didn't play good football to win the Europa League, didn't we? Ladies and gentlemen, didn't we? In the chat, didn't we? So please, honestly, if you're going to tell me what you're going to do, you know where to go. You know what to do. Because I just don't care. I couldn't care less. The people that I care about are the people that invite me on their shows. Respect me. And I don't have to respect you. Simple as that. If you don't, it doesn't work like that. If someone's on the street and they don't look at you, you can't just say, "Oh, can you be my friend?" Or should I listen to you? No, you just completely ignore them. It just doesn't work like that in life. Simple as that. And Tottenham Hotspur, I'm always going to be opinionated. And if someone's going to try and big time me and try and think they got the better of me, you're very, very you've got no chance. Absolutely no chance. The energy is going to still be the same every single time. And that's all I've got to say on that. But Semenyo, that's the one that I wanted to talk about. Semenyo and Kilimundo. Semenyo, thank you for that one, Jimmy Hotspur. Now, I think Semenyo would be a good signing, but he's got a lot of work to do. But, you know, with Thomas Frank, with his coaches, and Justin Corcoran, he looks a good prospect. I mean, honestly, looks a very good prospect. So I think he would be, for me, someone that we could bring in to improve on. I mean, everyone remembers Gareth Bell. Gareth Bell was not, he had the potential, but he wasn't perfect. But with Harry Redknapp, and then you had Harry Redknapp, and then you had Villas-Boas, and developed him. I saw, you saw what happened, and I think you could do that with Semenyo. I think there's a lot there that he can. He's got good. He's really good. He's got some things, but I think his finishing is not to be desired. I've got to be honest. A lot to be desired. Have to be a lot to be desired. But he can do so much. I think we can do so much more to develop him. And the same thing with maybe this Kilimundo as well. Try and improve his positioning. I think we need Johnson up front, 110%. I'm sorry, if he's going to stay at Tottenham, don't put him on the wing anymore. I don't want him on the wing. He needs to be enough. He's got to be up front, because that's the best you can get out of him for me. Then he can score goals. He can score goals whenever he wants to score goals. Simple as that. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Big up to Brian. Big up to Brian. Morning, everyone in the chat, and my brother at Mr. Bot's office. Hope you all as well. Thomas, Frank. Yeah, I know you love Frank, Brian. One thing you need to stop doing, though, is saying the fan base need to be together, though, mate, because that's never going to happen. And you should know better. You should know better. But big up to you. Big up to you. One thing I like about Brian, I might be harsh with him sometimes, but he takes it with great aplomb. He takes it with great aplomb. And that's one thing I respect about Brian. Yeah, we can get passionate. We can disagree. But he will always take it with aplomb. Absolutely take it with aplomb. And also the We Are Tottenham TV boys as well are very good at as well, to be honest with you. I've had arguments with him all the time. I've never agreed with him that much at all. But they're lovely boys. Lovely boys. Live Brian as well. Big up to him. Big up to him. And very supportive to me on the channel as well. Big up to YFI as well. Big up to you. And I'm not going to have a go at Stelios. Stelios has always said he didn't like Daniel Levy. He was expecting us to win Europa League. So I can't have a go at Stelios as well. And also, I'm not going to have a go. I don't have a go at anyone really. It's just that I didn't agree with them in certain things. But big up to them. Big up to Saba. Big up to Asthmatic. Big up to Marlon. Even though I'm not too. Listen. It's a good idea for the fan base, but I'm not a fan of the wars thing. Not for me. Not for me whatsoever. But that is, if people are into that, that's they're into that for me. But big up to everybody who's watching. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, back onto Kilimundo and Semenyo. I think Semenyo for me needs a little bit more coaching. Now that'll be an interesting signing for me. He needs to polish his finishing, I think, a little bit. Be more clinical in front of goal. Do it for the whole match. I think he's a purple patch player sometimes. He does it in moments. But he's got a lot of good potential, yes. Gets past his man. Very good at that. Fantastic. And I definitely would like him in my team. But I think he's got to be better with his finishing and be more effective in certain things and be a bit more dominant. That's where I think he's got to do a little bit better. But yeah, and with Klimondo, I think he has got a little bit of. I think he's a bit agile. He's very good. He's got a good first touch from what I've seen from clips of him. But yeah, there's still a lot of developing that he needs to do as well. So I've got more optimism with players that can improve because we've got a coach. Now that's not going to be straightforward. No, it will not be straightforward. Certain players, no. But I have to be honest. I've got a little bit more optimism now we've got a coach. Now, I'm not saying I'm completely on board with Frank. No, please do not think I am. Because I need to see it with him over time. And it will take time. It will take time. Jimmy's made a really good suggestion. But big up to everybody in the chat contributing. Big up to everybody. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that as well. Sandra, but yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we missed out on that one. Honestly, I think we missed out on that one big time because I think Sanderberg he's underrated. He's very, very well underrated as a central midfielder. So I have to be honest. You know, he's yeah. I'd love to have him. He's another one I would love to have, definitely. But whether he will come to Tottenham, well, I mean, with Champions League, that might encourage it. It could be a good partnership with somebody in that midfield, with the likes of Burval. Burval, I think we need to see a little bit more from him. We need to see how he improves. It's going to have to be a better season for him this season. And there's going to be a lot more expectation next season, I think, on him. So we have to see how he copes with that. So yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, one of the other ones that have been linked today, and I'm trying to find it now. I think it's Simmons. I'm trying to get the news up here now. We've been linked with Simmons from. We also have been linked with Mbeumo as well. Mbeumo has been linked, but Xavi Simmons has been one sign that has been a player that has been linked with Tottenham Hotspur from RB Leipzig. Dutch international. And is rumoured to Tottenham to be interested in. Ben Jacobs was the one that was spoken about him. And he says that Premier League clubs are generally watching him. He's one to watch as well. And he would be another option, versatile option to Eze if we can't get the Eze deal done. But you know, this is you know, I think we're going to be linked with a lot of players. I think the business is not really going to be done until Paraty returns, rumored to return. I think that's going to be a major thing as well. I think things will start ticking along as well with when Thomas Frank starts next week. I think he's coming in next week. So it's yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Very, very interesting. Now we're gonna have to be wrapping up the show soon. Sorry, guys. Because obviously I've got an early start tomorrow. But we will try and do a show for you tomorrow because the fixtures are going to be out tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So we want to talk about that. There's going to be other things as well that we might want to talk about, and maybe even certain other teams in the Premier League as well that we want to speak about as well. So big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to, again, I have to say thank you to Wolves FI for the super chat. Big up to you. And big up to We Are Spurs TV. Big up to you. Big up to everybody that's contributed to the show. Big up to Absolute 22. Big up to you. Thank you for... Big up to you. Big up to Mari. Big up to everybody. Big up to Brian for watching as well. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to you, Brian. You need to stop apologizing, mate. You need to stop apologizing. We know you're a very kind man, so don't stop apologizing. I've told you this. We all love you anyway. You know what I mean? It's all football for us. You know what I mean? But you know, it's appreciated if you're watching the show. Big up to you. But yeah, big up to everybody who's watching. And I'm going to wrap up the show now. And hopefully be back tomorrow with some more news and talking about Tottenham Hotspur and maybe other things as well. But thank you for everybody who's contributed to the show today. Thank you for watching. And on the day where Daniel Levy has said he wants to win the Premier League one day and win the Champions League. Did he say that we had a game-changing stadium? Can you believe him? I don't know about that. On the day, on the previous week that we get in a new manager, a new coach, Thomas Frank, and the fan base are still divided. On the previous week, where we signed Matthis Tell, and the fan base are divided. And on the day tomorrow, or today, where we're going to find out who our next first 6 games in the Premier League are going to be against, and what are Tottenham going to start with, and is it going to be a good start or a bad start for Thomas Frank? Thank you for everybody for watching. And thank you for everybody around the world watching. And as always, if you didn't know, get to know, support your boy, Mr. Box Office, subscribe and like, and come on, you Spurs. And we're out.